Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Nice Girls Don't Win. I am your host, Parvati Shallow.
And I'm Amy Bean.
We are delighted. It's spring break.
It's spring break.
Finally, the weather has changed.
It feels good. It's sunny. It's like the hummingbirds here. It's really just a lovely time.
We really had to go through a lot to get here. Fires. It was like acts of God, insanity, 12 podcasts in. We're on our 12th episode.
We've been doing this for 2 months now, and I think we have it down a little bit. We took it on the road. That was a big deal. That was a big deal. For her and I to figure out the tech on our own, we sort of did it. You fucked up a little bit.
My mic was a little wonky, but we did it. And now we are taking Nice Girls Don't Win on the road again for our spring break road trip.
So our girls thankfully have the same spring break time, which means we get to, she was like, what are you doing for spring break? I'm like, I don't know. What are you doing? She's like, I don't know yet. Should we do something?
I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to do a big to-do with flying at the airport and dealing with spring break mobs and stuff like that.
No, I hate that. But I was like, listen, my family, I'm a 6th generation Californian, which I think is pretty cool. And there's this old cottage, like a almost haunted old cottage that my family has. It's like the family home in Jenner, California, which is like the smallest town in all of California. But I think it's going to be magical. If you guys have seen that movie, Fern Gully, this is how I pitched it to you. I was like, in like the backyard, there's this hike, and it's Fern Gully. You remember the ferry that would like in this forest? It was green. There's streams, and it's just so alive.
I love nature. I love getting off the grid. It's one of my favorite things about doing Survivor is not having access to Wi-Fi or my phone and being immersed in nature. It's so rejuvenating, and it's, I think, really helpful for kids to have that experience too, because they have so much pressure at school to perform and belong and be cool, and they're always on the go.
No,
so this is a reset.
And I bought a bunch of little fairy houses so that
oh my God, so cute, Amy.
This was my dream when I was a kid. I remember like thinking fairies lived out here, but my mom told me that fairies only come out at night, which is why we can't see them. So if we set up little houses, so we used to like take little sticks and like make little houses. But now online they have all these cool little actual kits that you can buy. So our girls will love it. They're 6.
Amy is a very magical little cutie mom. I could never. I mean, I do trash the house for St. Patrick's Day. That's my favorite thing to do is pretend like the leprechaun came and make a big mess. But Amy does this for every holiday. I'm so impressed. I can't wait to meet your mom because I want to know where you came from.
She's coming to Easter with me, which I was like, please, will you? My Aunt Patty, who's the biggest Survivor fan ever. She's watched every season. She's your biggest fan. My mom's your biggest fan. But my mom is a badass. Like everybody wants to sit next to her at the table, but she is like an introvert. It's actually weird because you would think she's an extrovert because she's really
outgoing. I've heard her on the phone a few times, and she's got a strong personality.
But when she's done hanging with people, she's done hanging with people.
I relate to that.
Yeah.
I can really like bring it out, put it on. But even after our White Lotus weekend, I had to really take a beat. I was like 2 days down after that.
I don't know how you were like, we were FaceTiming my husband from the pool like on Tuesday, and you were like, hey, how's your weekend? How was your weekend? He's like, wait, like the weekend was a long time ago.
He's like, Parvati's Tuesday. That was crazy.
I don't know how everybody operated after that.
But your husband is doing us such a solid.
Okay.
He's taking the babies.
He's going to keep the babies because he can't take work off, thankfully, and this is now my job, so.
He is like an angel from heaven. I'm like, wow, this man is giving us this opportunity to just take our 6-year-olds, just our girls, and us.
Special.
It's so nice.
So special.
Thank you, Saint Nick.
We have some research to do while we're there because the haunted show could be coming to a TV near you.
Okay, I have been nonstop talking about this haunted mansion competition show, and it is really growing some legs.
We're getting some interest from people that make TV shows. So
it's really getting really fun to think about all the different details of it. I'm actually kind of scared, but Amy says there's a haunted school on the way up to
behind the house,
Jenner.
behind the little. No, we are walking there. Like
Oh
it's
my
by
God.
it's by Ferngully.
Okay, so I really have to step up into this creative dream that
It's
I'm
where my
building.
great grandpa went to school, and it's. I hope it's still there, to be honest. I never get to go here because it's like in Northern California. So we're gonna test it out. She's already spooked, but you need to find a witch.
Okay, I know before I go, I'm going to have to like cast some spells and get some protective jewelry, but we are going to do this where we'll film it. We'll post it on Nice Girls Don't Win Instagram. We've been posting some really funny stuff on that.
Okay,
I hope you guys are
Jacqueline.
following us on Nice Girls Don't Win, because if you're not, you're missing out.
I know, because we put it on the stories, and so they disappear. So just follow along if you think that we're ridiculous.
Okay, guys, and speaking of Instagram, I have had some wild times on Instagram over the course of my life, and one of those wild times was with Sandra Diaz-Twine. We have Sandra on the podcast today. I can't wait to talk to her because she is a two-time Survivor champion, the queen. She's played Australian Survivor, US Survivor. She has played Traitors with me. Her daughter has played Survivor. She's like Survivor royalty.
Beat you in Survivor.
We have Sandra Diaz-Twine.
Well, I'm happy you invited me, but then I heard you talking prior to when I logged in, and I was like, wait, she's talking about Nice Girls Don't Win and different kind of sort of vacations and this, that, and the third. I thought we were going to talk about Survivor, so I'm over here watching Survivor, making sure that I knew everything and anything in case you asked me something. And I think we're just talking in general, right?
Yeah, we're just talking. But I see you have your big Survivor logo behind you. What season is that?
That's the Pearl Island. So it's just my office. I just put a bunch of Survivor random stuff in there and stuff that the fans give me and things that I get along the way. And my check that Julie gave me on the early show.
Oh my God.
From the real one. They let me put it on the plane back then. I hand carried it.
That's a big deal.
Oh my God, that's cool. They don't do that anymore.
This was the type Parvati was wanting to get.
That was
the one. Heroes and villains.
I'm a producer in TV. I like a badass player. I actually kind of liked Russell. I know
Amy says she wanted Russell to win.
Well,
I said, what is wrong with your brain?
I like hardcore gamers, and I know you're a gamer clearly, but I thought Russell was fucking hardcore on that. Like when you watched it back, did you not think that?
And I've never said different. I've always said Russell was a good player too.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, the way he played, just people say bitter jury. I don't even care anymore. It's been that long ago. But I've never said different that, oh my God, he was never. I've never said, I try to give everyone their props. We just, when it comes to getting along with folks or maybe doing things and taking others into consideration, I think that's where it didn't go so well for him. Mm-hmm. But he was a good player, and I've never said anything different.
Something I really loved about you on the island when we played Heroes Villains is you're so direct and you're so funny, and you were like, Russell, I'm against you. And you just like stood up to him and he crumbled. It's really great. So I'm really glad.
Well, I think he didn't expect it. I think he just assumed that I was but at that point I had an idol too. So I really wasn't scared. That's probably why I even had the balls to say, I'm against you, Russell, because I did have an idol at that point.
The idols do help a lot.
Yeah,
a nice security blanket.
She had those two
idols.
Make
you brave.
Yeah, it makes you brave.
It does make you brave. Well, and I'm so glad that we got together on Traitors, because when we saw each other, when we got out of the car on Traitors and we saw each other, I was like, ugh. And you said it in interviews, your stomach dropped, my stomach dropped, because we hadn't talked since we had that internet feud, which is the namesake of my book. So thank you for that, because I'm like, why not I like to make miracles out of piles of shit. Like I really do. I'm like, oh, look, here's like something or a mistake or something that just went off the rails. And I truly believe that conflict can be resolved through conversation, communication, and connection. So I'm like, I see things as always resolvable. And I'm so glad that we had that moment on Traitors that happened so fast with Peppermint. She just brought us together. She's like, you two are both Survivor queens. You guys need to bury this right now and get on the same page, because we need you together in this castle. And for me, then and there, it was done.
But what about for you, Sandra? I need to know.
It was a whole different kind of game. I was focusing more on the game. I was like, I don't want this to just cloud my day-to-day routine. Like, I don't want to be looking over my back. I will be watching her. But even then, I don't think I really once it was said and done, I honestly feel like I didn't even focus on it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a done deal. Now
Yeah.
I'm playing the game. Like it's a whole
Yes.
different.
But did you not think she was a traitor? You were like,
No.
I know.
No, and you know why? Because I was like, if anybody's gonna be a traitor, it's gonna be me. I'm the two-time winner, so there's no way in hell Parvati's gonna be the traitor. And and still, like I say, well, Alan didn't pick her. Dan and Phaedra picked
Right.
her, so it wasn't. And I try to think on that too. I'm like, if I ever play Survivor, traitors again, and they're like, oh, get out the survivors because they're always traitors, but they have to remember Parvati was picked, not by Alan. So that's a plus, a bonus for us, versus it's always somebody from Big Brother.
Yeah.
That's so true.
But can we go back to Survivor? Because I think you've played 4 times, you've won twice.
You played Australian Survivor.
You also played Australian Survivor, but with the
And
US.
then I was a mentor on 39. So I always say that I've been a part of 6 survivors because I was a mentor for 36
the
days.
mentor one was badass. You had your whole face like up on a mountain.
Wait, what was that like hanging out with Rob for an entire season?
It was really, really calm. And like I said, I never made so much fire in my life. And he would say, hey, I'm going to go get fish. So he'd go get fish. And I'm sitting there with the machete and the flint, bloom, 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 starting the fire. So I felt like I was so ready for Winners at War. Like I had never been so prepared than having the opportunity to be a mentor and then just go home for about 10 days, try to keep the same schedule, try not to eat so much so that I could go over there and just knock it out. And then of course I played with my heart and not my head. And then that was the rest. And I was so glad on TV they showed Parvati getting out before me, which I got out before Parvati.
That's the truth.
And I think they paid me in that order too. I couldn't remember if they paid me for Parvati's position in
I know. I feel like I'm always getting bamboozled by you,
But
Sandra.
day 16, didn't you guys both leave on day 16?
I don't remember what day, but it was the same day that the whole world shut down from the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we did leave on the same day, but on TV, I left. I really left first, and I was like, I'm not staying here, and I was waiting on Parvati, but I couldn't leave until Parvati showed up.
Yeah.
But on TV, it's like Parvati gets voted out first, then me.
That's because my
But
tribal was.
it was more dramatic. It was my exit. Like I'm not
mine
going
was-
to no.
No, my tribal was so boring because I was asleep because we had to wait until Sandra had her tribal. And then I was like, I'm so tired. And I was like a new mom out there playing Survivor. I was so tired. Jeff even asked me at tribal, he was like, Parvati, are you sleeping? He was like, you look real tired. I was like, yeah, I'm dead.
Wake up, and now you're leaving.
Yeah, and then they showed my exit before Sandra, and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, don't get me when I'm tired and hungry. But Sandra, you've never been in the jury, which I think is so crazy because did you watch this past week's Survivor?
I did.
And like it's that episode right before the jury. And I can't believe you've like in all of your time there, you've never been in the jury. So you don't know
Oh my
what
God, you
what
know
is it called? What is the place called?
Wait, Ponderosa. But I have a question about that. If you were on the jury, what would you base your vote on?
The gameplay. And I'm one of those people where I want to get as much information as possible. So I think I would take into account everyone's how they're feeling on the jury and what they saw or heard that I didn't see or hear. Like on Traders, like you're taking everyone's word because we all can't be there. Because something as serious as 40, you want the right person to win.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. But that's crazy. You've never been. Why don't they film Ponderosa anymore? Like, didn't they used to?
Do I think they still put that online?
I think they do. They just don't show it. They don't have the secret scenes that they used to have that people enjoyed, which I think the round table on Traders should be a secret scene. Like if I choose to spend 2 hours on YouTube watching it, let that be my choice. Yeah. I don't think they should cut and paste it.
Oh, there was some drama that happened at the round table
on your season?
Yes. I mean, people are crying.
And they tightened it up. So it was not 2 hours, obviously. We know how to edit it up real tight.
I mean, think about the worst family dinner.
An hour and a half to 2 hours, just like our regular tribal council. It depends on how much we talk and depending on what's going on.
Right.
You're right. That's what people want to see is that long form version. Like stream it live. We have the technology.
Well, I always say as a producer, I feel so thankful that I get to watch everything raw because I'm watching it happen when I'm out there. I've never worked on Survivor. I've never worked on Traders, but I just did the show Million Dollar Secret that's on, and I'm
I'm
watching.
watching it.
So I'm watching it on the live there, and I'm watching it as a viewer, and I'm like, damn, there's just so much that happens. You guys know this, that they have to put it into 42 minutes, and it's with Netflix it's different because there's no time limit necessarily, but you're not going to have a 2-hour show. But Survivor's 2 hours. That's 90 minutes.
And I have a
No,
question. Do
an
you?
hour and a half. Survivor's
It's
an
90.
yes.
Do you
yeah. Now it's
enjoy watching Survivor? Because for me, it's not escapist. It's like if I'm going to watch Survivor, I need other people to be excited about it, and then I get excited about it. But it's like I've lived through it, and I have so much history with it that it's like, oh, when I watch it, I'm like, this is hard work to watch this show. But I think they're doing a good job telling the stories of people on it now. And when fans like Amy loves it, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is a huge fan. I just went out with her the other night, and she's like, you got to watch this season. So I've started watching it. How is it for you watching it? Because you've now played and been on Survivor, I think probably the most.
no, not the most. I think that's Boston Rob, but where isn't he? I still enjoy it. For the most part, I try to watch it unless like I'm running the streets, but it's always recorded, so it doesn't matter. I'm really glad that they finally have it down to an hour and a half because uh we get to know the players better. Like I feel like when I played back in the Pearl Islands where we really got to know our tribe mates, where they worked, what their name, birthdays, how many, the whole thing. Um, I still just can't wrap my head around 26 days. But that's just me. Whenever I want to get upset, I'm just like, it ain't 39 days, like, like by day 26, when they're getting off the show, that's when we were really struggling and still had to go for 13 more
What was the
days.
line?
So,
Everyone talks about you with like, I had 2 babies, no, not 1 aspirin. Like, is that?
oh yeah, that I didn't even, yeah. And well, no, my first daughter, I wasn't even given an aspirin. Like
I,
but for my second one, I did have the epidural.
Okay, yes. I'm like, I love an
Delphin,
epidural.
yes, give us the
Yeah, but for
I'll
meds.
my
take.
first one,
If you could
The
yeah.
have
first one was hard, huh?
No, my first one was really easy. But my second one, I suffered so much that I was like, I'll never have another kid. And I recorded both my daughter's births and they've seen it. And I think that's why my oldest is 30. She turned 30 on the 8th of April.
That's not
And
possible because you're only
they're not,
35.
no, oh yeah, well. But yeah, I think because they've watched their live birth and I have it recorded that they're scared to be, I don't know. They're like, Mom, you're never gonna have grandkids, so I have a grandpup.
Dude, why did you not think that through? That's so terrifying.
You're right. I
for a
have my
person to
No,
watch?
because it's me screaming, but it's a visual from the side. You know what I'm saying? And they cry when they come out and they're on my stomach and I'm like crying because yes, it's over. Um, but I thought it was beautiful and I wanted to have that memory because
I
you
love
don't
that.
remember it, but I could see it,
I have the same videos too, but you're right. Maybe I'm not going to show my kids because I want to be a grandma. That's my dream, is to be a grandma.
I mean, it was so cute.
Wait, but so you did Australian Survivor with your daughter, right?
did it
With
with
my
Nina.
youngest, yes. So she broke her foot on day 21. So they sent her back to the States with the boot, the scooter, the crutches, poor thing. And then she did physical therapy. And then they invited her for the next season. So she did, for them it's 47 days. She did 44 out of 47.
That's a
Wow,
long
she's
time.
so strong.
What does she think
Yeah.
about it? I mean, that's fun to be able to like, because we talked to Sari, who played Big Brother with her son, which I watched and I thought that was crazy. But what was it like for you, like knowing that your daughter is playing this game that you've mastered?
Well, my daughter's more cutthroat than I am. So for me, I really didn't, I feel like my daughter is everything I'm not, because not only does she have the brains because she's hella smart. Like that girl, like she didn't even have to study math and it's just automatic for her. So she studied that in college and it was a breeze. Like she ran through college, forget it. It's like when you have one kid that you don't have to worry about whether they do their homework or not, and then the other one you have to make sure not only do they do their homework, but you got to get them a tutor. So I had two
Mm.
different kids.
Mm-hmm.
And And then she's very active. So like my husband, you don't have to, she just get up and she'll go on a 2 or 3 mile run. And I'm nothing like that at all. So if there was anyone that I could take on Survivor that I knew would do well with that opportunity, it was her. And she did. And so she went to the Anonymous and won that show, and it was on USA Network.
Oh, that's
damn.
so cool. Okay, so is she really following in your footsteps? Does she want to do more games like this?
No, because she has a full-time job. Like, and I want to say it that way because I ran into Sari at the New York City drop and she was like, "Where's Nina?" And I was like, "Girl, she got a real job. She can't be over here." And then she's
Oh.
like, "We all got a real job." And I was like, "Well, I mean, like, she just can't get away, like,
Wait,
you
is
know."
is that hard? Because you do say it like it is. Like you're opinionated. You'll get out there. You'll speak your piece, and then people do have a reaction to that. Like, is that hard for you to modify yourself? Do you think about it?
No, I guess I just laugh at it because I just say what, like you said, I really don't think it through. Like if I'm hurting somebody's feelings, I'm like, no, she's got a real job. Like I don't have a real job. I just get up and watch birds. If you follow my Instagram, now I got a bird cam and I'm out there watching the goldfinches and birds that I've never seen in my yard before.
Yes.
And
That's so
and I'm
cute.
enjoying it. Like I don't stress about anything, you know? So
Wait,
Yeah,
that's
and I like you could just clean it up. I think on Traders, people loved you because I think because you're so direct and you just speak your piece, and it's like people trust you because of that.
yeah, you're not calculated. I mean, maybe you are calculated, but when you have no filter, I feel like I can trust those type of people when I'm talking to you as a real human, right? But as a producer, I love a person with no filter. I swear to you, you guys are the most entertaining. That's why I liked Russell probably. That's why I liked you. I like Parv. I like people that just speak what's on their mind. But she's really good at cleaning things up. Like that's why you said that, right?
Yeah, because I'll make a mess and then I'll be like, oops, I gotta really work to clean this up.
no, I watch you, Parvati. You know how to talk to people, like you said, to get them to do what it is that needs to be done that benefits you.
Yeah, that's a
That's
real.
like
That's an
you're
art.
more like a therapist, I feel, where I'm just like blunt and maybe I don't think it all the way through. And a lot of times that's what you need. That's why you've been so successful at the shows you've been on because they know you're a threat, yet there you are.
Yes, she stays around.
Wait, are you gonna do Deal or No Deal Island?
Oh my God, I would wish that they'd call me. Call me. I need my next check. Like 2025 is here.
Wait, oh,
The
maybe
economy is looking so hot. Call me. Anybody,
Sandra,
everybody.
would you do a haunted house reality show where you have to stay in a house that's haunted for 10 days?
No
I
longer.
grew. Look, I couldn't even lie. I've watched my oldest daughter would watch shows like that, and you know where they drop something, and I'm like, why the fuck are they still there? Why haven't they left already? Or you feel something touch
Because
you, and I'm like, I
money, you're
don't
gonna
know,
get paid.
because I'm the type of person where I'm willing to do anything and everything if the opportunity arose. Amy and Parvati,
We will call
call
you. Are
me.
you kidding? We're putting you in the deck.
Yeah, you're so good. I know. I
Wait,
would love to
But
have
don't be
that.
shocked if I wear a diaper, like for real, because I'd probably just piss all over myself. Like,
Sandra. We'll provide it in your bag, your check-in bag.
Yeah,
Hey, wait,
everyone gets a monogrammed diaper.
can we talk about your audition tape? This is what makes you so good. Did you see that your audition tape for Survivor went viral?
yeah,
It was
well,
this.
and the thing is that when I made it, I sent it in and I never made a copy of it. So people would say to me, "Where's your audition tape?" I'm like, it doesn't exist because I never made a copy of it. I just submitted it and that was it. So whoever did put it out there had access to that vault for them to have
It
it.
is so
Um,
simple and so funny and so good.
It's so
Your
you.
brain just won't stop. And I'm like, I want people always ask us, like, hey, what do we got to do to be on TV? I'm like, be like Sandra.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I hope somebody sees it and they're like, hey, there's a spot for Sandra over here because I need my next check.
Okay, we
good.
know you're ready. All right. Oh,
Oh.
Sandra, thank you so much for talking to us today. Is there anything else you want to share? Tell us your Instagram so people can watch your birds.
Sassy SDT. We've already talked about the 2 cruises coming up. We still got spots available if anybody wants to come cruise with us. I've also been volunteering at the animal shelter about once a week. I'm getting enjoyment out of that. Because like I said, I do stuff, but like not stuff. So I'm flexible. Like my schedule is pretty open. I'm just chilling, enjoying my husband's retirement. He really doesn't want me to go back to work, so I'm here.
Good.
I know, but we got to get you back on TV soon. So we're going to be working on that for you
know.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, there's a couple of shows I would love. Hold on, I think my husband's ringing the doorbell, y'all.
I was going to say, do you have a list?
Yeah, come on,
Going to get your list.
Like worst cooks because I'm a horrible cook.
So good.
Oh, that's with Martha.
Worst cooks.
no,
with Martha Stewart.
No. That's Yes Chef. Worst Cooks. I don't know what that's on. But
I'm
they
a
have that new
horrible
Hulu
cook
show
too.
that's coming out. Get Out. That's a celebrity one. We gotta watch that.
I don't know that one. Okay. All right, Sandra. Well, we'll let you hang out with your husband.
Jesus Christ. All right, ladies. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Okay. If you guys have been watching $1 Million Secret, I feel like you should be all caught up. It's been an entire week. Okay. And now we have today.
We have the winner of $1 Million Secret.
Cara.
And she's so cool.
Cara, guys, thank you so
In
much
studio.
for being. Okay.
This is incredible. I cannot believe I'm here right now.
You look like $1 million.
Thank
She
you. Thank you
is.
so much. This is wild because I grew up watching you, so it's just insane that I'm here right now.
Well, your gameplay was lethal.
She's a gamer. So in casting, I remember loving you so much because you study these games. Like
Yes.
you've always loved Big Brother, Survivor, any type of competition game, but you're the sweetest human. So I was curious to be like, how is she gonna play and
Yes.
lie?
Yes.
And you did it.
And I did it. And I don't lie. I literally do not lie. It eats me alive.
I
And I'm always trying to be honest in real life. And I just didn't know how I was going to do it. But I
Killed it.
did it.
So tell us about that because this podcast is called Nice Girls Don't Win.
It's crazy.
But that's because Parvati is a winner, right?
Yeah, and you can't be nice. I think in these games, you have to choose yourself.
Yes.
You can't be a people pleaser. You can't try to help everyone else win. You have to take what's yours because it's a competition
Yep.
and only one person wins. So you can't win by playing nice. So tell us about that.
I agree because I've studied these games and you have to be cutthroat in different situations, but that's not how I play. In my like real day-to-day life, I'm just normal and like to be kind to everybody and so but when you put $1 million in front of me and how much that could change not just my life but my entire family's life, it just you become a different person almost and you just make sure stop Amy, you're gonna make me
Well,
cry.
it's because I remember like everything about her is so earnest and incredible. And so knowing your family story and everything, I mean, we scratched the surface in the edit, I think, but knowing you really well, I mean, there's things that really make you, I feel like it was meant to happen. You were supposed to win, you know, with your dad's cancer, your brother who passed, like there's so many things. If you don't mind kind of sharing what this means, this money means to you and not just you, your family.
Yes, my family. I'm such a crybaby.
Oh, you two are so sweet.
But
I'm
it
really
means
feeling the
something.
emotion in here. There's a lot of heart
Yes.
between you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I just we've just never had it easy. It's always been one knockdown after another constantly, even just from my brother's death alone. And we just I feel like have always tried to catch our breath in a way. And we're really good people, I would like to say. And so it's kind of always like, dang God, like another thing. And just being able to be on the show in the first place was such a huge blessing. And I couldn't even believe it. And that's when I was like, I have to take this home. I'm this close. There's just no way I'm going home without it at all.
And you started off kind of slow out of the gates. There were other people that were putting themselves out there really fast and furious. And it just seemed like you were so smart with your strategy and it seemed very calculated how you just waited and waited. And then when the timing was right, you just struck and it was really, really magical to watch. It was very masterful, especially as a first-time gamer. I think that's a difficult skill to
Navigate.
use. Yeah.
Yes, of course. And that's what I think a lot of people were like, oh, she floated and she really didn't talk the first couple of episodes. But it's hard because you can't do that sometimes. If you are too strong or you do throw out a name that no one's suspecting, it can turn right back on you and you could be eliminated just for that. So you have to play at the right time and make the moves when you need to. It's like a chess game. But I just
Do you
waited.
play chess?
No.
But it's your intuition. I swear, a lady's intuition, and maybe men have it too.
A lady.
I feel like my mom always said, trust your intuition, trust your gut.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. That's what you did a lot of this time. Like, coming in, you guys didn't know what the show was, right? And so, but you did know there was going to be deceit and some lies and some things just to win $1 million. So you kind of kept everything close to your heart, I think, more than others, right? Because Sydney came in and lied about her job immediately. You just never revealed. You slowly revealed things. Like in and out. You work it in and out. You revealed that, and then it became this whole thing.
Right. And that's the thing. I didn't know what this game was going to be about. We heard the rules the same time you guys heard the rules when you watched it. That's the first time. And I wanted to see what was going to happen. I immediately, when I met Lydia, I was like, oh my gosh, my middle name's Lydia. And I instantly was like, wait a minute. Nope, cannot say that because that could come back and bite me in the butt. So I was just very careful of how much I revealed about myself, and it worked.
It's really impressive because that is a hard tightrope to walk when you're trying to bond with new people.
Exactly.
Build connections with them, but also not reveal so much about yourself. Because the way I bond with people is I'm an oversharer. I just like spill my guts.
It'd be hard for you.
It would be so hard for me.
That's what you naturally want to do is rave about your husband, rave about your parents, your siblings. That's your family, your life.
Yeah.
But in these type of games, you can't. And I don't think people were realizing that.
Or you just come in with a fake, what is it? A dossier. You have a dossier.
Yeah, but if you're lying, it's going to come back and get you because it's hard to. Was that your strategy, just to not lie as much as possible until you really had to?
Yes, because I'm not a good liar in real life at all. And I actually was watching it back and I was like, oh, that is not good. Like you could see my face tremble because I don't do that naturally.
Yeah.
But I knew once I opened the money, I was like, I am lying my butt off, whatever I have to do.
Good for you. So has your life stayed the same since you've been on the show? Has it changed?
Yes, I went back and flipped burgers. I really do truly flip burgers. I think that's been a thing online right now. I genuinely flip.
You're the hottest burger flipper I've ever seen.
No, all In-N-Out employees are hot. Have you not been in the In-N-Out line? Every one of them is gorgeous.
So gorgeous. All the workers.
But it was funny because it became story. They're like, maybe Cara doesn't work In-N-Out. Look at her.
I know. Look at yourself.
Stop, you
Which
guys.
really was like, Cara's like, like don't come for me in my job. Like you like doing it.
I love my job. So I was like, no, I am a great certified burger flipper, and I will take that to my grave. Like,
what does your boss think? Because I know your husband also works at In-N-Out.
Yes.
And
Wait,
I know. Yes, we're just a burger flipping family.
No. Wait, did you meet at In-N-Out? How did you meet?
No, we met in high school. We were best friends all 4 years and just strictly best friends. And once we graduated, I thought I'd never see him again. And we went on a trip that he wasn't even supposed to go on. And then on the last day, we held hands and we've been together ever since.
years together.
Cutest story.
Can't wait to meet him. We're doing
he's
lunch
the
after
best,
this. I'm
yes.
very excited.
You're gonna love him. He's a one of a kind soul.
Okay, so
And what does
what's
he
your
think
boss say?
Okay, I know when you
So
went
weird.
out there and you were like, all right, I'm gonna be cutthroat. I'm gonna be the gamers that I've been watching win Big Brother, Survivor, all these other shows that you like to watch. You don't know that you have this capacity yet.
Yes.
It sort of blossoms for you in the moment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had no idea I had that in me.
Yeah, what does he think watching
What's the response from
He's
you?
just so proud of me because of the fact we watched these games together and we always throw in, oh, I would do this differently, or oh, she's playing like this. I don't know if I do that. We always give our 2 senses, and I'm like, what would I do if I play this game? So I've always kind of thought how I would want to play, but then when you're there in that moment, it just goes out the door because there's so many things going on every which way. Literally,
It's impossible to think, and it's very hard for people to think. Like you have to make a decision right now.
Yes.
You play these all the time. And she's like, I'm good at cleaning up the mess later, but you're really good in the moment.
Yeah.
Which is so bizarre because I get terrified to speak in public and I'm like always in my head. So I just think my words are always jumbled and I don't.
But now that you know you have this special skill,
Easy.
it's like a witchy power. What will you do with it?
I did say that my intuition from the start, what like was really good. I said that in interviews and casting. I was like, that's my one good quality is I'm very intuitive. I don't know how to explain it, but I just have always been that way. And so it honestly didn't come to a surprise for me when I was there and I just had these feelings and emotions. I knew it in my heart.
So your brother, this is like such a moment because I feel like he was obviously there the day that you had to pick up a gun. I mean, that was impossible to watch because, you know, you never really you never told us this story in casting. And after I saw you crying, I talked to you and you had told me something else that didn't make air. And I don't know if you're okay mentioning it today, but it was so miraculous because you are meant to be on this earth. Like, can you explain why?
Yes, yeah. It's so wild. I usually say this as a fun fact because it's a crazy story, and I, for some reason, never told you guys during my casting. But I guess everything happens for a reason. And my dad had a vasectomy when they had 4 kids, and after my sister was born, he went and got a vasectomy. And then 4 years later, my brother was shot and killed, and my parents were so heartbroken, and my mom was constantly praying for a miracle every single day, and she found out she was 6 months pregnant with me, and she just couldn't believe it. There was no way, and like you were meant to do big things.
Oh wow! So you never met your brother who was killed,
and we're like identical. My parents are like, it's so crazy.
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay, so we have had some stories like this where it's like my brother died in 2020.
So sorry.
And when I went on Australian Survivor, there was a moment where I'm like gonna cry, oh my God. There was a moment where I got like a Ziploc bag and it had a card that had my name on it, and we put our jewelry in this bag. And on the back of the card was my brother's name. And his name is Kaylin, and it's spelled like Kaelan. Like it was spelled the same. It was on the back of my card. It was our first tribal council that we were going to in the car on the way there. And I was like, he's here. He's with me. Like David, who just won Deal or No Deal Island, his dad had died recently. And his dad, like the numbers that he picked with the suitcase, the briefcases, like his dad was there. So I think in these games, it's so interesting that these stories happen. They feel very miraculous. It feels like there's evidence that there's something beyond what we can see. And there's just this beautiful mystery. There's a web that we're all connected by.
It is. And when it happens, you're like, whoa, that is such an incredible story that you just said too. And then the fact that I shot the skeet and I hit it was just wild. And on the last day, the finale day, I always opened my door when I was getting ready and had my fireplace on because I couldn't believe I was in that room. And on the last day when I woke up, I was getting ready and a blue jay flew into my room. And it took like a whole team of people to get it. And they're like, this is really good luck. Like someone's watching over you. And it was just incredible.
Oh my God, I'm sobbing. I'm like, oh, this is so
Miracle
sweet.
baby girl.
Yeah. Thank you
You
for
are the
sharing
most
that.
deserving person. And let's switch gears a little bit because of like the most deserving winner, I think, and also a hardcore gamer.
Yes. Willing to take the shots when they need to be taken.
I appreciate the people who see that because I feel like real gamers do see that it starts from the beginning of it. And I wasn't just quiet. I was building relationships with people and getting to know them and understanding who I could take to the end with me and speaking when I could speak, but you can't because you don't want a target on your back. So it's all a game from the very beginning.
Oh my, and this girl flips burgers at In-N-Out. Like never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
You're so brilliant.
Is there anybody online thinking that, like, saying anybody else should have won, or is everybody supporting you?
I've honestly been really blessed and had really great support. It's actually blowing me away. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was really scared, like hate comments or anything. But so far, everybody's been so kind and they were rooting for me. Because real gamers have seen, I started from the beginning.
Receive that love because that is precious and rare. It doesn't usually happen where you get only love as feedback from playing these games. And it is such a vulnerable thing to do, to put yourself out there and release control of your story. You don't know how you're going to behave in these situations, and you just navigated it so gracefully and intelligently. It was a pleasure to watch you.
Thank you. That really means a lot. I appreciate. I mean, coming from you, shoot, I watched you so many years. Like this is just wild that I'm here.
Have you always trusted yourself?
That's
Always.
huge. I
Yes.
know. Because it's how
in
she
these
was
games.
raised.
But in these games, there are producers
Mm-hmm.
who are trying to tell a story. And this was something I struggled with because I was 23 when I played Survivor the first time. And there's people who are trying to tell stories, and maybe their story doesn't match with what you want to do in your story. And how do you know who, like, it seems like they have more information than you. And it was very hard for me to trust my gut in that situation because also I have like people pleasing tendencies.
Same.
So how do you do that then?
I honestly don't know.
I'm
I
going
don't
to
know.
say,
We're gonna investigate
like,
this later offline.
I'm going to give my theory because I really think, like, when I produce these shows, I want to make sure I know who you are and you know who I am going in, and my team of producers that are working with us. And you had my right hand, Gaby, as your producer from day one.
Yes.
Who's here, by the way? I'm so excited.
She's gonna set the record straight
She's the
about
best.
something.
I'm
Yes.
bringing her out. She also was, I don't know if you watched our first podcast, but remember, did you hear how I thought she was taken in Panama?
Yes, that is hilarious. I was cracking up because that is so something you guys would do.
But Gabby's incredible, and I think she really helped. And like, you know, all of the team that was out there, we really want to make sure you guys. We don't want to do like any gotcha moments. Like, we're not. As a producer, I'm like, I am not here to lie to you. If I can't tell you something, I can't tell you. And that's like what I'm not gonna lie to you ever. I don't want to lie to you, but I know information. Obviously, I know information, and I just can't tell you.
Yes.
And that's how I like to play. So you guys, I don't want you to feel like we're here to get ya.
Yeah.
You know, that's not.
That's also a hard line to walk because you have all the information. You know who the millionaire is.
Yes.
You want to talk to the millionaire. You want to help them out. You see them having a struggle, like, but you
I'm
can't.
not looking at you overly looking at you, right? I'm
No,
like,
you did
okay,
a
I'm
great
just
job.
moving on.
I don't know how
because
you did that alone.
that was, but guess what? It's also like talking in front of people. I'm like, do people think I'm looking at her too long? You know, like it's in my head, but I have to play the game also because I can't reveal anything, or I can't have a camera on you for too long because then it's like, well, the cameras were on her forever, you know?
Yeah, you
So
can't
it's
give
a
it
whole
away.
art, and that's why Gaby and my team is really important because I'm right next to the director, making sure we're capturing everything. And I don't know, I really want to ask about your biggest move. I think it was your biggest move.
I wasn't so impressed with this. I was like, how did she do this in the moment?
Sam gets a clue, and the clue says the millionaire has two sisters. Now, we know in the casting you have two sisters. We know that Jamie has two sisters. We know that Corey has two sisters. You know, but by the way, people can lie about what they have or what they don't have. And when Sam asks you in the moment, who's like your sister, by the way, you and Sam are like sisters out there.
And which is incredible that we made it to the end together because we genuinely were like sisters.
So, but watching you lie to her,
I know.
I was like, oh, she lied to herself.
I know. So what? Like,
she lied to her sister.
but I'm watching this go down, and I'm like, how does Cara know in this moment?
I know.
To say I have one sister, was it a gut check where you're like, this is an agenda?
Yes. So when I had opened my box and I received like, oh, someone's getting a clue about me, I sat there, Peter walked away, and I took a deep breath, said a prayer, and I just was like, what could this clue be about me? I was like, it's either going to be my middle name or my sister's. Could have been, and that's the only two things that came to my mind.
But she never said that out
You
loud.
are psychic.
No, I never said that out loud. I just sat there by myself thinking. And mind you, it was real life. I got outside the room, and 5 minutes later, I was talking to Sam. And I'm so nervous, freaking out, trying to make sure I don't look noticeable that I just opened $1 million. And then Sam just had a normal, casual, and she's good at those casual conversations. And she was talking about her family, and she's like, oh, yeah, you have... How many sisters do you have again? And I said 1.
And by the way,
Just
the
came
control room went crazy because I'm watching next to the director, and I'm like, she just said she has one sister. Gaby, I'm on walkie. So Gaby, I'm gonna bring you in here. Gaby, are you here?
Gaby, come in.
Because this, I need you to hear it from Gaby's mouth.
Gaby's here. Gaby is now sitting next to
I'm
Cara.
going to lose my job. I was like, what's wrong?
I did say that.
Yeah, Gaby is my right hand. I bring Gaby on every show with me because we have the same producing styles. Like, isn't she like Mama Gaby? You know her.
I love Gaby. She was on Deal or No Deal. Yeah, she was there for me in some emotional
And you
moments.
guys mesh so well together.
Yeah, we're the yin to the yang.
We
like
are.
we just be, but also the same human. It's just weird. Like
Exactly.
I trust you with everything, but it's so funny because as soon I'm like, Gaby, shh, keep the line clear. I'm like, Gaby, does she have one sister? Because if we fucked this up, if
the production blew this clue, like the game is blown.
My heart sunk, literally. So you know that before they start filming, it is our due diligence to like get to know every single thing about our person. So I was Cara's producer. So when you said one sister, my heart sunk. And Amy Bean, if anyone knows Amy, in the moment, she's like, Gaby, are you sure? Are you positive? Are you positive? Call casting, da-da-da. And I'm like, I am about to get fired and sent back to LA for this mistake. Because it's not just, you know, the group of producers and the cast, it's network execs and, you know, show creators and everything. And I was like, I'm literally going to get fired because I wrote the wrong number down. So I'm like, I've got to get her into an interview.
The look you gave me, I thought I was in trouble. Like, she was like, and I'm like, what? She's like, and we go to the interview and she freaks out. She's like, I thought you said you had 2 sisters. I was like, I do. And she's like,
it was the greatest
she
moment.
flew back in the chair. I was like, I'm not fired.
It was the greatest moment.
Radioing everyone like, I was crying,
Cara.
I didn't make a mistake.
Cara, you were so good in the moment to just be like one sister.
I didn't
that
know
it was like,
I was
it
that good
was natural.
until she freaked out. And I was like, okay, that came off okay.
Yes.
Because Sam could catch liars in 2 seconds. That's
That
what
is
she was
so
so good at.
stressful.
Yes.
Watching it on camera as a viewer and with your family, Gaby, were you like, okay?
Literally so proud because it was like such a G move, some of the things you did and the way she was able to just be really instinctive about the information that she gave to people. And she told me that was her play in the beginning was don't divulge too much information that people can like weaponize against you in the game. Initially it was a little concerned because she was a little quiet in the beginning and I'm like, you need to talk a little bit because I felt like it would be suspicious. But watching it back with my family, you had just an incredible social game as well, which I think was really a big part of this game in general. You know, people say like, oh, Lauren had, you know, a social game trying to be friends with everyone, but yours was really different. And I think that you honed into which people you could really would always have your back.
Yes.
You leaned into Corey, you leaned into Sam, and you like kind of catered it to what you knew they needed to trust you.
Wow.
Yes.
And it was really, really impressive to me. And I was so worried when I was like, oh my God, she's a millionaire because, you know, you do get a little nervous.
My voice starts cracking.
A little nervous.
Yes.
But I saw a switch after
Yes.
that. After that, I got one sister thing. It was like you were like master manipulator there. Like even in the final reveal when you're like, I'm gonna make sure he thinks I have the money, and you kind of like went at him, and you got him in his feels because you knew that would work for you. And I just think she did a great job.
Dude, if we do have the zombie apocalypse and it's like The Last of Us, you are on my tribe.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you know.
I would be honored.
This whole crew right here.
Oh, we'll make
This
it
is
out.
my tribe.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about these games. It's a lot of it is your alliance. And I started that from the beginning. I had an alliance with almost every single person in the house. And I wanted to genuinely get to know them because it is a game, but you're not talking to your family at home. You know, you're getting emotional and things like that. And I did realize that I can trust Corey and Sam the most out of everybody in the house. And at first, they didn't get along.
I know.
And I had them sit down at the picnic table. I was like, you guys need to figure it out. Like,
It worked. David
and it
Zoe.
worked.
I know.
It worked, and they really bonded. They really cared for one another, and we made sure us 3 would make it to the end together, and we did whatever we had to do.
Okay, how are they
Good
feeling
job.
now? Because it is, I mean,
Yeah.
that night, by the way, was, remember, it was quiet in the room.
Yes.
People online are freaking out. They're like, well, what did Corey have to say? I'm like, he was dead quiet, like in the room.
Very
Sam was
emotional.
upset.
Yes,
Sam
was
was
mad.
really
Yeah.
upset that you lied to her.
I know.
How is that going now with them?
Honestly,
Damn it.
they're still both my best friends. Like, we always talk, us 3, like the most, and we talk with everybody from the show. But yeah, they've still have always remained really close to me, and they are who they were on the show. They're very kind people.
So they got over it.
And
yes.
That doesn't happen every time.
But do we need a reunion show? Because
Yeah.
I feel like there's stuff happening.
There is
that
stuff
we know
happening.
of.
Yes.
Okay,
There's,
so
there's
Can you give
have
us
a
any
reunion.
tea? Can you give us any
There's
tea?
definitely a group message that we've had since we finished the show, and it
know
was
how
a
that is.
very
Okay.
nice start. Everybody missed each other, and we got to know each other on a real level. And then when stuff started to come out for the show, different people were doing interviews and kind of saying things that they were telling other people they didn't say. And then people were definitely upset in the group message and kind of going back and forth, kind of honestly just like Hell in the Game.
Yeah.
There was
we need to-
definitely a side again.
You get
Okay,
it.
we need to air this out. There does need to be another moment.
Yes, absolutely. Because now we can tell the truth, actually, and have a conversation without lies
Yeah.
for the most part.
Okay, well, we'll work on,
Drama.
I know. We got to talk to Netflix and say, let's
Yeah,
get
let's
us
do
to
it.
a reunion show.
Also, I'm
ASAP.
just so proud of you. Oh my God, I
you.
feel like you didn't do anything to prepare yourself mentally to go play this game. Like, how are
So you do?
Yes.
Yes.
How?
Really?
What do you
Oh
do?
my! Before I played, I played Survivor not knowing what the game was, first of all.
right.
But the second time I played, I was like, I'm gonna win this game. But I knew I had to be able to switch
Yes.
into this sort of Machiavellian power player. So I read a lot of books. I read the 48 Laws of Power, which was super helpful, Power of Persuasion, all these different books. And I had to give myself permission to to lie, to cheat, to steal, to hurt people's feelings, to betray people and stab them in the back. I wasn't a gamer. I wasn't watching the game. So maybe that's the difference. Like you've been watching these shows for so
Yes.
long.
Yes.
So that might have been your study.
Actually, you're right, though. Now that I think of it, I can't deceive people. It's very hard for me. So I did YouTube. And there was a thing I learned, and I did it a lot on the show. It's like, I don't know what it's called. I forget because I haven't seen it in a year. But you go like this with your fingers, and it intimidates people. I don't know. It's something. I gotta show you.
You guys
the
should be
YouTube
watching
videos.
this on YouTube
I
because you'll
do
get
it.
a
I
trick.
do it a couple of times at the dinner table, and it's like I'll show you the YouTube video. It's like a whole theory on it. And you go like this, and when you're talking to someone, and for some reason it
changes
intimidates people.
Or maybe it changes their brain to look
Something.
there or something. So as you're
yes,
lying, you can do
so
this.
I did do that.
You know-
yes.
You know when she did it? She did it
Brilliant.
when she was talking to Corey. And
Yes.
he asked her if she was the millionaire, and she's leaning
Yes,
forward.
yes.
And she goes, "How could you say that to me?
That was so
How could you, I can't believe that you think that about me." And
Yes.
I saw that.
Yep.
She did it.
Right.
Yes,
She
and
did
that's
it a
the
bunch
thing.
of times.
I felt really bad manipulating
She
him,
did.
but I
Yeah.
realized how he is as a person, and trust is his biggest thing that he lacked. So I kind of was like, "How could you not trust me? Like, come on, you need to trust me."
Oh my God,
I
that's so good.
know.
You used his
Wonderful.
own vulnerability
Yes.
against him. I'm so proud of you.
And do you want to do? Are you down to do another show?
Yes, absolutely.
Haunted
Okay.
House Mansion. Here we go.
Oh my gosh. I'm such a gamer now that I know I can do it. I'm like, sign me
Yeah.
up.
You're
I love
good.
gamers
You're
so
good.
much. Okay, now I know what the show is.
Okay, great.
It's all gamers.
It's happening.
Are you scared of ghosts?
No.
Okay, great. She doesn't need a diaper.
So bad. She's going to apocalypse.
Wait, what is this? What is it?
We'll tell you about it later, but it's in
Okay.
the works, and
You guys-
you'll get a call
Oh
for
my
casting.
goodness.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for coming.
you.
Congratulations. You're incredible.
We
Thank
did
you,
it.
Gaby.
We
Love
did
you.
it.
See you at the
Aw.
reunion.
Oh, we had the reunion.
We don't know if there's going to be a season 2 or not yet because
$1 million listing.
we're still waiting to
$1
see.
million listing.
$1 million secret. It's a
No one's
secret.
buying real estate, okay? We're competing for millions of dollars.
But
So
if there
funny.
is, we will put like a casting link like as soon as this gets picked up again. I think it will. I hope so. But we'll.
I thought it was great. I
We should
think
put
it
a
will.
casting link, because I think so many people are watching and want to do this game and want to play it and see how they would do. And I always I want to see how people. They're like, oh, I'm gonna win this, and it's like when you get in there,
It's a whole different. Let me tell you,
I
it's
know.
not as easy as it looks on TV.
It doesn't look easy.
No.
To me.
okay.
That looks intense.
All right.
And you don't even know the rules. It's crazy. Like, what are we
Well,
like,
now
like,
people
what
know
am
the
I
rules.
even doing?
Now people know the rules,
Okay.
so that's gonna be
All
hard.
right, so we'll put a casting link on Nice Girls Don't Win when that is available for people again.
Okay.
But thank you
Well,
guys.
wish us luck for our spring break. We're so excited to take off and go hit up that haunted house.
Yeah,
and
it's research.
research.
And we'll be coming at you next week with another amazing episode of Nice Girls Don't Win.
Yeah.
So if you liked this, please subscribe. We love getting comments from you guys. It's been really fun to see the comments from some of these episodes. So tell us what you like, who you want to see, and we'll work on that for you.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye.